here. This is my gig, this is my jam. I love talking about self-development, personal development, self-awareness, and giving ourselves all the tools to be able to help with our mental, emotional, and physical development. So I am a trained life and leadership coach. I train with CTI, so if anybody's familiar with that, I'm a proactive coach. I'm also a certified impact coach. And my real thrust is in helping people understand their identity, who they are, and how we're wired to be, our personality, our strengths, our values, so that we can make good decisions and fulfill our goals and go after our dreams with courage and curiosity. Because we will have fear, and we will have difficulty, and things are going to get in the way, which is why developing resilience is such a big part of your own confidence, really. And having this gives us the ability to pursue those things that we really find important and prioritize.
And Stephanie, I love that we switched the conversation from, resilience to grit, because there is a difference. So if you could explain to everyone, what's the difference?
Okay, so first of all, yes, resilience is the development of being able to recover well. We get knocked down, we want to be able to get back up again. I mean, honestly, who wants to stay in the pit? Who wants to be miserable? Who wants to just feel frustrated, anxious? No one, right? Like, we don't want to stay there. So developing our resilience is the way in which we do that. Grit is the methodology in which we can do that. So this is the tool. So I'm going to give you some equipping tools and hopefully some valuable information that you can take away and practice. That's the goal here today. So I'm not going to be talking about all of the things that you can do to personally develop. I want to just give you something that is tangible that you can take away. So grit, to me, is that scrappy kind of perseverance, like, that's it, I've got things to do in my life, I want to get up and do it. And it doesn't have to be with enormous strength. It can also be quiet and soft. But it's you getting back out there after you've fallen off the horse, or the e-bike, as it were. And we're going to talk about some difficult things that have happened in our life and struggles. And so I can tell by the audience that you are all older than 6. Correct? Yes? Okay. If you're older than 6, the research shows you've experienced disappointment in your life. Yes? Anybody here not experience any kind of disappointment? Frustration? No? Okay. Awesome. So we're all together here. So we humans have similar things that we go through in life. And to be honest with you, the goal is not to avoid struggles, adversity, disappointment. The goal is to be able to have the toolkit to equip ourselves, empower ourselves, to be able to handle it well when it happens. Notice I didn't say if. When it happens, because we will all face things that are going to feel disappointing and hard, right? Hard, yeah. So what I want to do right now is, this is a coaching technique, this is what we do. I want to design the alignments. What that means is, what happens in this room, what's shared in this room, because I want you to participate too. This is a little bit more like a workshop than just a lecture or teaching session. I want you to feel comfortable and safe enough to share. So the design of the alliance means we don't repeat what we hear about somebody else's story outside of here. We can share with each other because it's helpful. I'm going to share some of my own personal stories. I'm not asking you to do that necessarily, so don't feel uncomfortable like, oh my gosh, I was about to come in here for this. It's going to be awful. It's not. I just want you to know that everybody does experience difficult things, and we're all very human, and we can all, the human spirit is honestly so much more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. But as we're in here, it's like Vegas, so having cone of silence. so that we can respect each other's story, our struggles, and know that we can be vulnerable with each other. Brene Brown has brought that to our attention, to the forefront of understanding humanity, that when we can be vulnerable and a little bit more open, expose ourselves a little bit more, talk about our feelings. The guest speaker just prior to me was talking about feelings and feel your feelings. We all have them, it's not wrong. So I just want to have a show of hands. Everybody good with the alliance that if we hear something here from somebody else, we're going to respect their story and not take it outside? Yes? Okay, great. That builds trust. And trust is an ingredient to grit, to that resiliency that we want to establish.
I like that, and I like the fact that we're all being honest. We all have this, we're all over 6, as you mentioned, so we've all been disappointed, but it doesn't mean that we have to sit in that disappointment. We have to bounce back and kind of move on. And you have a perfect example, right? This just happened to you in your own life.
Yeah.
The last, 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. So maybe talk a little bit about that and how you are still here today. You can't make it down.
Exactly. So some of our difficulties and struggles that we go through in life are going to be physical, and they will be seen, right? Everybody can see, oh my goodness, something happened to you. What happened to you? Is it painful? What's the recovery like? What kind of treatment are you having? When did it happen? So we can see that. But a lot of our difficulty and struggle too are things that are unseen, right? There's a lot of things that we go through that affect us mentally and emotionally that nobody would know about. Loss and grief. This is a very physical example, and I know that I'm going to get better because I'm trusting the professionals that I have, a surgeon, I'm going to go into physiotherapy soon. I'm going to do everything that I can in order to help myself get better and to continue to live the kind of life that I want. It doesn't mean everything is possible. Sometimes we do have limitations, and I might have to, not be able to use my right hand, which is my dominant hand, so that really sucks. It's very frustrating not to be able to do the things that I want to do, and it's painful as well. It's stiff, and it's painful, and it's sore, and I didn't expect it. This is the kind of thing that happens, and for most of us, when we're going through some adversity in life, we didn't expect it. It came up and just sideswiped us, right? This person did something, didn't expect it. I had a car accident, didn't expect it. We experienced loss, loved ones died, didn't expect it. Didn't expect to get that prognosis of cancer. Whatever it is, these are things that can trip us up and prevent us from living a full life, a life of wellness and health. That honestly is our birthright. But we're going to face these struggles in life. So I'm going to share a few examples with you about my life. This one's obvious, and this is the most recent difficulty in my life. I'm going to take you back to when I cognitively, for the very first time, experienced extreme disappointment, rejection, difficulty, and huge challenge. And I want you to think about, when did that happen for me for the first time? And I don't want you to minimize it. I don't want you to dismiss it and say, well, I was 4, or I was 12, or I was silly. It's not. Because when you have cognition about what's happening, you have thoughts about it. The thoughts become feelings. The feelings sit in your body, as Bobby was mentioning in the last session. And these feelings can sit there for years, decades, and then it starts to cost us. It costs us in our physical wellness. We get ulcers, migraines, cancer, IBS. All of these things can be rooted back to stress and suppressing of our feelings and not moving through it in a healthy, supportive way. So I was 9, in grade 4. And we were at a class trip at Pioneer Village. Anybody been to Pioneer Village? Yeah, cute, fun. So our class did a week-long session there. We didn't stay over, we drove out there every day. We were cute little pioneer kids wearing our pioneer clothes, sitting in the pioneer classroom, and we had the pioneer tools. So a little slate, chalkboard, and my teacher asked me to get up and solve a math problem. Up until then, I didn't think I was stupid. Up until then. Got up, she asked me to solve this math problem. Halfway through, I froze. Couldn't produce the answer. And like here, right now, y'all are staring at me. So are my classmates. Once that happens, your brain is flooded with chemicals. Okay? It's supposed to happen. You're in a dangerous situation. Cortisol is flowing through your body. It is the alarm that says, oh my goodness, be alert, get out of there, it's dangerous. Of course, it wasn't physically dangerous. There wasn't a tiger chasing me. It was my own mental and emotional well-being that was being affected and triggered. Some kids started to laugh at me. My other friends looked at me with like, this is terrible. So to demonstrate what it would be like back then, in the pioneer times, I was asked to sit in a corner and put the dunce cap on. A cone on my head that literally said, dunce. Right? You're shaking your heads like, oh my goodness, how did you do? My grade 4 teacher, Miss Rourke, bless her heart, she didn't know that it was going to create within me a lifetime of thinking, I'm stupid. But that's what we tell ourselves. When we go through difficult times, we tell ourselves, oh my gosh, I'm not enough. Whatever that is. I don't measure up, I'm dumb, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not intelligent enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not whatever. Enough. Right? Because something happens to us and we don't process it in a way that is healthy, that gives us back our identity. It was just honestly, it was a silly little thing. But it did affect me until I went back and rescued myself, my 9-year-old self, out of that situation and said to her, you know what, honey, you are smart. You have a college degree, you have other certificates, you have a lucrative job, you make a lot of money, people pay you for this, you have many friends. You're okay. We made it. The we made it part is the resilience part. That was the ability to go back, recover myself, and say, keep going, sister. This is just one blip in a lifetime of blips. So that was the first time. And then there were, high school situations and drama with boyfriends, breaking up, or they liked my friends, not me. Rejection, that same feeling of overwhelm again. How am I ever going to deal with this? How am I going to get through? Oh, my life is over. I'm still here. I'm married, 32 years, have 3 kids, so I guess I got through it. Another time was when my loved ones died. And this is really hard and tragic. Everybody's got an expiry date. We're all going to experience some loss through death. I don't like to talk about it, but it happens. And I think, honestly, the Western world doesn't talk about it. Like I said, oh my gosh, don't say that. It's, it's superstitious. You're going to jinx it. No, we're all going to die. It's 100%. Fatality rate is 100%. But if we talk about it, and we talk about how we're going to deal with it, and how we can get through it, and how we can get the support, and that it's okay, it just gives us a better experience. So the last 4 years, my brother, who was 47, diagnosed with stomach cancer, 13 days later died. 8 months later, my father died, October 2020. And this year, my mother passed away. In the spring. It's a lot of loss. It's 50% of my family. I have 2 sisters. There's 3 of us left now. We're stronger together. We talk to each other. We check in with each other. We do things that love on each other. We recognize the fragility of life and how important it is to live it. All of those experiences gave me a real zest to live my life and not wait. And not be held back by fear, by difficulty, by struggle, by feeling uncomfortable. Because I have a lot of life that I still want to live and give. I tell you all that, probably the worst experience of my life was 13 years ago. My husband came home and confessed to infidelity. He was having an affair, lasted 3 months. That was the side swipe that came out of nowhere. That was the thing that took me to the ground. I wasn't just broken, I was in pieces. I was in crumbs. And it took a very, very, very long time to recover from that. But I did. So I'm going to give you some tools. By the way, we're still married. So we did a lot of work. It worked. But it was really, 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 really hard. But I'm going to give you some of the tools that I used. And one is called grit. Now, we know what grit is. I just explained what the word means. It's a scrappy way of being strong, persevering, getting through what you need to get through. However that works for you. Because not everybody's going to have the same system, because not everybody has the same personality, values, beliefs. We're not all the same kind of people, but we are still human, so we will experience a lot of the same feelings. So, grit. I want you to think about it. Now, if we were doing this as like an actual real workshop with a table, and everybody had some sheets of paper, you would be taking making 4 squares. G-R-I-T. What I want you to do is, first of all, think about an experience that's been hard. Death, divorce, devastation, displacement, disease, whichever one it is. Maybe something that you went through, maybe you're going through it right now, and that's why you're here. Congratulations, by the way, for attending today. It means that you really believe in yourself and you want to be the healthiest version of yourself, so congratulations. But I want you just to think about, what is that thing that feels frustrating, overwhelming, really difficult? And don't compare it to somebody else's situation. No comparative narratives are allowed here. Everybody's problem or issue is the worst because it's their own. Okay, you got it? Everybody got something? I'm not going to ask you to say it out loud unless you want to share. Remember, cone of silence. Okay. So the way that you can work through it, and again, this is a tool, so I want you to be able to take this away and think, how can I use grit in my life to help me get through that hard thing? So with the letters G-R-I-T, and sorry, I'm just going to look at my notes because I've got a lot of words down here, and I don't want you guys to like lose out on something. Actually, before we do that, what doesn't work? When you're going through something hard or difficult, what do you know doesn't work? And I've asked a lot of my clients and friends, like, hey, what helps and what doesn't? Because there's some stuff that doesn't help. Yes?
I can't find a solution.
When you can't find a solution.
You have a challenge. You have a solution.
Right? So we're searching, we're meaning-making machines. Our minds want the bow on top, right? We want the happily ever after. We want a solution. So I'm going to help provide you with some solutions. So thank you for sharing that. What else doesn't work? Worrying. Oh my gosh. If we could just be more warriors than worriers, I think we'd be better off. Yeah, worrying doesn't. It just robs you of your joy from today, right? You're worried about something in the future. It's making you anxious. Most of the time it never happens. That's anxiety, by the way. Anxiety and depression are like twins. Depression is what happened to you before, in the past, that brings like a sadness over you. Anxiety is always future focused. It's always something, the what if. That doesn't work. Anybody else? Complaining, yes. Oh my gosh. Complaining, bitching, the same miserable thing. People don't want to hear that problem without a solution over and over and over again because it keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck. But a lot of times we think, yeah, I know, but I don't know what to do. You're right, having a pity parties and complaining and kind of go together. But a pity party is great for a minute. Like, sure, vent, get it out, express your feelings, get angry. I bought a bunch of glasses when I was recovering from my husband's concussion. Bought a bunch of glasses at Dollarama for like $1 because my core emotion is anger. I needed to get it out. I needed to cycle that emotion through me and get it out. Because you know what happens when you push down emotions like that, like sadness and anger, grief for too long, it just goes to the basement of your soul and it lifts weights. It gets stronger. And then years, decades later, it erupts at the most inopportune time. And you have a breakdown or a burnout, or you're hospitalized for something really major. Do not just push them down. That's not a sign of strength. Okay. Losing sense of your purpose and identity, that's also not helpful. Like, I don't know why I'm here, who am I, why did this happen to me, this is so unfair. Yes, there will be injustices in the world. I remember thinking that to myself, why me, why me? And then one day she's like, why not you? Huh? Can I use this? Can I use this pain with my passion of helping people as part of my purpose? Wow. Then it became clear. Now I have like a real zest for like doing something. Okay, that happened to me, but like Claudia was saying before, it wasn't happening for me. What was coming up was the growth and the lesson and the strength and what can I do with this? That was what was happening for me. So the way that I, in my mind, so my mindset, how can I utilize this to not only help me, but potentially help others? Right? Be honoring to who I am, how I was wired and created. So those are some things that don't help. Okay, so let's get to what will. So with grit, G-R-I-T. Now, I'm going to give you just a bunch of words. Think about the ones that resonate with you that you want to put into your toolbox and think, next time I'm struggling with something, I'm going to try that. So you might want to take a note or write something down, or if you've got great memories. I don't. I have ADHD. Also another, diagnosis at 53 years old. Well, where did that come from? Now I've got to deal with this. Okay. Let me go to my grit box. How am I going to handle it? So for me, G is about gratitude. Honestly, there's always something you can be thankful for. The sun came up. I had a hot coffee this morning. Somebody helped me get here because I can't drive yet. I'm grateful for that. Simple things. Taking a walk, laughing with your kids, dancing, a great song that just came on. These are things that we can be thankful for. And at the beginning of the day, it helps to set the tone, right? And if you can just list or think about 3 things that I'm grateful for, it sets the tone with your mental and emotional state that helps you go through the day with more optimism. Some other G words that you might like: grounding, growth, generosity. When we can take our eyes off ourselves and put them on somebody else. Support and charity. There's many here that you can help support. Food bank, homelessness, kids initiatives, just baking something for a meal train because a family in your neighborhood is going through a hard time. Being generous helps us to focus on somebody else, not ourselves, and it feels good to give. R. Wait, Claudia, I'm going to just ask you, what G word would really help you?
Well, gratitude for sure. Good trick question.
No, I'm afraid. Because you don't know, like, this is now it's something that you can think about and maybe come up with your own. Like, when I'm going through a hard time, what's my grit? That's what you're saying to yourself. So it's like, okay, gratitude. What can I be grateful for? R. For me, R is rituals or rhythms. Like, what are the things in my life that I can do on a regular basis that I know I can do? Sometimes it's just get out of bed, right? And that's all the strength we have. But other times it's meditation, it's prayer, it's journaling, it's going for a walk, it's doing something healthy. Those are regular rituals and rhythms that we can have in our routine that are going to help us step by step to gradually become more resilient and recover.
I love that, and I like that we have a toolbox. I was just thinking about that as we were talking. I mean, who doesn't need a little word toolbox to trigger those, things that can help you get through the day?
Exactly. So does anybody want to share, like, did an R word come up for you that might be something that's helpful? Rest. Yes. Rest is a good one, and we don't give ourselves enough opportunity to do that because we think we have to be busy, we've got that list, we've got to go check up on the kids, we gotta go do this, we exhaust ourselves. Rest is so important, especially when we're going through something hard, but just on a regular basis. Thank you for that.
Reflection.
Reflection. Nice. What does that mean to you? Did everybody catch that? Happier? Okay, I think reflection is so good because reflection is part of our self-awareness and our identity. We don't take enough time to reflect on who we are, what we're capable of, what people come to us for, what we're good at. If we don't reflect on that, then we can't bring that out into the world and we don't feel that level of confidence. Some others are release, repeat, like maybe repeat a mantra. I'm safe. I am loved. I'm going to be okay. That was what I repeated to myself a lot. And I still do. I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm going to be okay. It just settles your nervous system, right? Because our sympathetic nervous system is going into overdrive, as we talked about before. Cortisol is being released, right? Our thoughts trigger our feelings trigger our beliefs trigger our behavior. So if our thoughts are not in the right place, we're not going to have the right feelings, beliefs, and behaviors. So it's a real system to think about. Integrity. Integrity is a good I word. Like, what do I stand for? Am I doing what I say I'm going to do? If I'm a responsible person, am I being responsible? If I'm a person who is loving and kind, am I doing that? Am I a person who says that she's healthy and wants the best for herself? Am I actually treating myself that way? Integrity is a really good I word for good. Another one that I love too is identity, obviously, because that's what I focus on, that's what I help my clients with. But who am I? Developing your identity statement, the I am. Who am I? Like if you're at a backyard party with friends or friends, and somebody says, tell me about yourself. If you have to resort to titles and roles only, you don't know yourself. Because titles and roles can be taken away from you very quickly. You are married, your spouse, now you're divorced. I'm not that title anymore. I was a CEO of a company. That company's gone bankrupt. Not a CEO anymore. I used to live in Richmond Hill. Don't anymore. Then you see how easy it is to if you hang your identity on titles and roles, you will be lost when those are gone. So who am I? Am I kind? Am I creative? Am I funny? Am I somebody who people come to they can count on? These are things to invest in understanding about yourself because they will hold you with your confidence and your ability to recover and be more resilient. Intimacy. Intimacy is a great I word. And I don't mean sexual intimacy, although that's fun too. That'll help you recover. But intimacy is really about that raw exposure of my heart. about who I am. You've got to have at least 3 to 5 safe people in your core circle, your core tribe, that you can be able to show who you are and be intimate with. Be vulnerable enough to share feelings. You know that person's got your back. They're going to be there for you because they know you and love you and you know. How many people can look into your soul and just know you? You know those people like, oh my gosh, they finish your sentence. They know what you're thinking. They know what you need without you even asking. That's so important. Intimacy is very important. And intimacy builds trust. That's my T word, trust. So G-R-I-T. You need to have people that you trust, and you need to trust yourself. Believing that you can get through this, that it's going to be okay, that I can learn from it, I can grow from it, I can take some lessons, I can help somebody else. Trusting that you are going to act, that you actually have everything within you, that if you just tapped into it, spent some time in reflection, you would be able to see that you are going to be okay, that you're developing your grit. And the other part of it is if you can't, I love this T word, and you will too, therapy. For sure, therapy. I am embarrassed to say that the first time I crossed the counselor's office lobby was when I was 46, and I had absolutely no ability to handle because I was devastated by what was happening in my marriage. I know young people, that my kids, they're like, I was talking to my therapist the other day, I'm like, I hope you talk about me. You know, like therapy is such an important part, whether it's a counselor, it's your doctor, it's your chiropractor, it's your physiotherapist, it's your massage therapist, it's your naturopath, whoever can help you, you need to have that scaffolding from professional people, a coach, somebody who's going to be able to help come alongside you, get you to see things maybe from a different perspective, challenge you to do things, to strengthen, to move forward. Therapy is a really good T word. Just a couple more that we can throw out there. Being transparent, touch, tenacity, that's a good word for strength. I have one. Tender. Tribe.
Find your tribe.
Yes.
You just said it. Your chiropractor, physio, but find your tribe of friends, because that's really important to me.
It's found in your box.
That's right. Find the people who are going to support you.
Yeah, I love it. I love that one. And tender, because sometimes we don't have to, resilience doesn't have to look strong, mighty, and powerful, and proud. Resilience can also look soft and still and feminine. And, you know, like, it doesn't have to be so big and boisterous. So with that, I think we're kind of coming to our end. Couple more minutes. Okay, so just some quick things that you can do too. When you're feeling that way, again, remember your thoughts, this is a T word too. Your thoughts really present to you your experience and your behavior, right? So just be very mindful about what you're thinking about. And here's an acronym that I like to use about thoughts. What you think about is going to shape how you behave. So, T, is it true? Is this thought that I'm having true? Most of the time it's not. It's a story you made up, or you know, you're making up a story about somebody else or something that's happening in your life. Is it true? Is it helpful? H, is it helpful? Probably not. If it's not, change it. I, is it inspiring? Is it motivating me? Is it giving me energy? If it's not, change it. N, is it necessary? A lot of what we think about is not even necessary. It's wasting brain power and energy. Get it out of there, change that thought. And K, is it kind? A lot of times we're not kind to ourselves. Erica was just speaking about self-compassion, self-kindness, self-love. These are things that we don't do on a regular basis, especially as women. We give it out, but we never put it back in for ourselves. And don't expect somebody else to do it if you can't do it for yourself. So be very mindful about your thoughts and remember to think about them. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? And if it's none of those, then change it and you'll automatically feel like, whew, that's better. Talked about feeling lighter before, like this is what we want to do. We don't want to keep that heaviness and a burden, because that doesn't help us to move forward. So I want to use the rest of this time to just, if anybody has something that they want to share, we'll do question and response, because I don't have all the answers from what you're saying too. It's very helpful to help other people. When you're struggling or you've got something hard that you're going through, what helps?
While you guys are thinking, I just want to say something, and I've always been impressed with you, but I'm impressed about one thing, that I know you know, I've had interaction with you, and I did not know any of that stuff, and nor should I. But what strikes me as amazing is just because we have difficulties in our lives, or we have situations that come in our lives, it doesn't mean we can't be kind, we can't be, hardworking, we can't be generous. So it just goes to show you that finding that grit is really the only way to conduct our lives. Because things are going to happen, right? They're always unexpected, but we kind of expect life to have ups and downs, and how we're going to recover from it is really, really the key.
Yeah, I agree. And we can all say that, right? Oh, of course life's going to have ups and downs. Nothing's perfect. There's going to be mistakes and people are going to hurt you and whatever else. Until it happens to you, and then you're like, why me? Why not you? Right? I think that when we look at it from that perspective of like, this is happening for me so that I can grow. Because everybody says that too, right? Like, oh, growth, yes, self-growth. Growth and development. I want to grow. I want to be the best version of myself. Can I tell you that you can't grow unless you struggle through something? So look for opportunities that can challenge you. They're not saying, oh my goodness, go up there and like, get a disease or something. Don't be foolish. Don't be too risky. But look at the way that you look at your struggles is not something to be just, it's not a sentence, right? You're not in prison. Not chained to it. It's not who you are. It's something that you need to get through to develop you. And you can potentially be helping somebody else. Maybe it helps you write a book. Maybe you become a life coach. Maybe you do speaking. Maybe you organize a whole event like this, like Claudia's doing. I mean, I know a little bit about her too, but she's a radio talk host, she's a chiropractor, she's a mom, she's a friend, she's a daughter. She's on the go all the time, but she makes time for people. So know things about yourself and then rely on yourself. And you know what? If you don't know what the best qualities, what the shining qualities are of you, ask people who know you. In fact, this is gonna be your encouragement, also your take-home homework. I want you to text 2, 3, 5 people who know you, and I want you to ask them, hey, what do you admire about me? Or what do you like about me? What do I bring to the table? And when they respond, believe them, and tuck that into your toolbox, into the I part for your identity. This is part of who I am. And then you can show up that way, because people believe in you, that that's who you are. You're kind, you're funny, you're caring. Show up for things.
I couldn't agree with you more. If listeners in the audience here want to reach out to you, want to maybe work with you, maybe get you to come out to the workplace or whatever to do workshops, how and where can they do that?
Thank you. I love working with humans. It's my most favorite thing. Fascinated by human behavior, and I love helping people get through things because you don't have to stay stuck. So my company is Beacon Coaching and Leadership. You can, the volunteers were handing out business cards, and I don't know where they've gone with them, but we'll put some up on the counter too if you want to grab them. I have a website, beaconcoaching.ca. I'm on Instagram, that's kind of my social hangout, at beacon_coachingca.
Yeah, or just check you out on social media. I always find that social media is the best place to find people, because then from there you can get directed anywhere else. Not mine. Oh, you don't have a physical, like, brick and mortar place.
Oh, no.
It's just go onto social media, the website, and Instagram, and the girls in the back, they'll hand out cards.
Yeah. I don't have like an office, but pardon me? So give me a call, and thank you for reminding me. Everybody here who's listening to the talk today, my gift to you is a 20-minute clarity call. We can talk about anything that's in your life right now. It could be something from today's session, something else. We can even talk about it, what it would look like to work with me, what would it be like to be in a coaching partnership. So you all get that. All you have to say is, hey, I was at the Wellness Expo, and I'll know who you are. And I would love to do that. Thank you so much.
Stephanie, thank you so much. I learned a lot, and I'm going to find my grit to make my list.
Woohoo!
And if you guys didn't get a card, I think we have more hanging around here. If not, just ask somebody.